Welcome aboard, everybody. It's your captain speaking, TCG Pirate King, and today we're going to be going over some of the new cards that have come out in black. We have Sengoku himself, and also Hina, Smoker's Squeeze. So stay tuned as we go over black and the starter deck's metagame. What does it look like so far? So to start things off, let's take a look at Sengoku. It says here that Sengoku is a cost 5, power 6,000, and you can discard him for 1,000 on your opponent's defense, a counter. When attacking for this turn, -4 cost for up to one of your opponent's characters. So I do really like this card. I like the fact that it can be activated every time that he is attacking. So it's a repeatable effect. I like it a lot. It's something that black needed. Now, when we take a look at Admiral Aka Anu, the black leader for the starter deck, he is 5 life, 5,000 power, just as a quick reminder, and activate on the main turn once per turn. For 3 Dawn, you may rest the designated number of Dawn, that's resting 3 of them. You may trash 1 card from your hand and KO up to one of your opponent's characters that costs 0. So you're going to have that ability out as soon as you start playing the game, because this is going to be an effect that is always available to you. But then, what are you going to have on turn 1? Well, we have 2 options so far shown to us, and those 2 options are Kobe and Great Eruption. Now, when we look at Great Eruption, it is an event card that says, on the main, draw a card, reduce one of your opponent's chakra cost by 2 for this turn. So far, this is the most efficient way that we have had to reduce people's cost, because this is a turn 1 reduction, and it replaces itself with a draw. Also, on the trigger, your opponent picks 1 card from their own hand and trashes it. So this has a really nice trigger effect if you lose it to your life at the beginning of the game. Secondly, Kobe is a character that says cost 1, power 2,000. He's a strike character and works for the Navy with a counter 1,000. On the play, you may trash a card from your hand, KO up to one of your opponent's characters that costs 0. Now, the thing about Kobe here is that if it wasn't for Great Eruption, we would not have the ability to KO anything with Kobe, really. So as it is right now, our turn 1 play is do nothing, because you can't play Great Eruption without it just fizzling. You won't be able to cost anything down and then pay off on it. The most you'll get is the draw. So far, black has no turn 1 play. On turn 2, you can play Great Eruption followed by Kobe, unless, of course, you're the going second. Then you could do 1 and 1 on your turn 1, I guess. But you don't have the ability to play in the aggressive in this deck. It's very reactive to your opponent. So when we move on into the next stage of the game, this is where Hina comes in. And it's very unfortunate that Hina comes in here, because she is 3, so that's wonderful that she only costs 3 Dawn in order to play, and she is 5,000 power, so she's useful. However, my problem, and I actually have quite a grievance with this card, is that it says on play for this turn, -4 cost for up to one of your opponent's characters. My problem with this card is that if you are on your second turn and you're trying to lock down your opponent's abilities, what are you going to do? You've got 3-4 Dawn right now. You're going to play Hina, and then what? I guess you could technically Kobe, but it's looking very difficult to... the thing is that I can't combo Hina very easily off of the late game, and the late game seems to be like you would want to play her a little more off of your later on characters. So Hina just, I think 75% of the time is going to be played on turn 4 or 5 instead of turn 2 more often. But if you do have Kobe in hand, I could see how you would play her. But the thing is that her ability is the ability to lock people in iron, and no one in the show has ever been shown able to break out of that, to my knowledge so far. So I just kind of wish that instead of it saying for this turn, it said until the end of your next turn. I would like it if you had this ability with Hina, even if she was a 4 cost. I'd understand the little extra power for the ability to lock down an opponent, but that's exactly what she does, is she locks down. So I think it would be really cool if, for someone like Hina, instead of it just being a for this turn, -4 cost for up to one of your opponent's characters. You can't combo that with the leader because you won't have enough Dawn to do that until later on in the game. So the only ability you have right now is to pair it with Kobe. I would rather play it with someone like Smoker. I'd rather play it knowing that on my next turn I could play another effect. Like, what if I played Kobe on the next turn or something like that? I didn't have Kobe in my hand. There was a draw that I was able to get off of Great Eruption, which then gave me another. So there it is. There's your play. I was able to play Hina on turn 2. On turn 3, I play Great Eruption to lock down another character. I get to draw the card, and then I can feed into the commander, the leader, or I could play a couple of Kobe's and knock 2 characters out. All of a sudden, Hina's doing a lot more work because she lasted a little longer. I'm kind of disappointed that she's only a 1 turn, but then again, she is part of the starter deck, so this is an example of her as a card. She could probably do a lot better in future iterations. Moving on to the next turn, say turn 3 we'll call it, we'll end up playing a card like Sengoku. For this turn, when attacking, -4 cost for up to one of your opponent's characters. This is a wonderful card to play with this deck because now you're going to be able to play off of the leader consistently. Every time that this card attacks, you're going to be able to just rest that 3 Dawn, discard a card, and you're going to have... this is why I think a color that draws a lot would probably benefit black, because there's so many discard a card effect as a payment in order to get these cards to get killed. Another one, of course, is the GARP that we saw previously, and we actually talked about this one in a previous video. I do recommend you guys check that out. It was a lot of fun putting that one together, and he plays really well with this deck as well. He is the super rare for the starter deck, kind of like Zoro and... I believe, who else? There was Law. He was another starter deck starter, super. So this is kind of cool. I like the treatments that they give them. The nice foil around the borderline. It's nice. I can't wait to get my hands on these cards. I'm sure everybody in America who is with me here is probably in full agreement that they just want these cards. Smoker. Absolutely hotness. He's as well drawn, I would say. I don't even know. I have to take a look at the artwork here, but I think he's just as well drawn as Mihawk was, and I absolutely love the artwork in some of these cards. Smoker's a character I like. He's not in my top 5, not in my top 6, but maybe in my top 10. And if I do see myself playing black in the future, and probably black and other colors like black blue, black purple, maybe even just blue and black for the most part, even if they're separate, I can see myself in the future doing a Smoker deck. Smoker seems like a really fun, if he stays in black, that is. So we'll see how he grows and how the game evolves, and if certain characters stay with their colors, or if it's just the effects they're using that's going to keep them in those colors, because as it is so far, we've been seeing a few people jumping around. Anyway, so this has been a nice little look into black. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. So many cool cards. I can't wait to get my hands on them. Let me know which deck you guys are most excited about playing in the future. And what are you guys going to be doing for the pre-release? I know that the super pre-release is coming out in the next month, I believe. It's September 30th through October 6th. So everybody in the States is going to be able to get their hands on these decks, which is so cool. I can't wait. And I think that the starter decks are going to come with special promo arts of all the leaders, but only for the super pre-release. So make sure you guys take a look at your local game shops and see when those are coming out for you guys. In the meantime, it's been a lot of fun. This is TCG Pirate King signing off. Until next time, I hope you all have safe travels on soft seas. To show that you're one of the few people that actually made it to the end of this video, don't forget to give a shout out to Hina down at the bottom. Hina Swan!